This podcast is for you. If you have dimmed your gifts and tried to do that to stay safe, I am going to speak to the part of you that has been whispering, I used to be so tapped in, or I don't feel as intuitive anymore, or I miss my creativity, or I used to just know, I used to feel, I used to be something different. This episode is for you because I need you to hear this loud and clear. You didn't lose your gifts, you dimmed them to stay safe. And that is not something to judge, that is something to honor, because somewhere along the way, your system decided that it wasn't safe to be big, it wasn't safe to shine bright, and it wasn't safe to share your intuition, your art, your creativity with the world. So, I hear all the time, well, I used to be so creative and now I'm stuck. Or I hear some clients say, I used to hear my guides and feel energy and receive downloads, but now it feels like nothing. I used to write, sing, dance, teach, channel, and now I'm numb. And if that is you, I want you to know that you aren't blocked. You aren't disconnected. You are simply self-protecting. Because your gifts can never go away. Your talents, what you were born with, can never go away. They were just turned down like a dimmer switch on a light that was too much for the room that you're in. You turn them down to stay small enough to be accepted, to stay safe enough to be loved, to stay quiet enough not to be targeted, normal enough not to be feared, basic enough to be paid, right? You dim them down because you didn't want to lose the money that you're already making. Maybe your business is already doing okay and you're like, hey, I don't want to sound too crazy. But it's time to turn them back up. Let me tell you my story. So when I first came into this industry a really long time ago, I was all about manifestation. I mean, it's the thing that I talked about all the time. I talked about all of these gifts. I talked about just knowing, like I just have a deep sense of knowing. And so I attracted a lot of people who are into the woo, right? And I always talk about the woo and the do. Well, then came a time where I was like, well, I don't want to look crazy. I don't want anybody to think, oh, she does this light language or she does all this other stuff and she's gonna, she's weird or she's this or she's that. And I said, oh, okay, I will make more money if I hold this back from the audience out, external audience, and just keep it for my clients, right? And keep it for people in the programs. And so I just started to dim my light. I started to not be as connected to the earth and to the frequency and to like all of my channelings and things like that. And I used to pull cards and do tarot and all of these things. And I really started to dim it. I didn't feel safe. And I thought that it would be better for my business if I just closed that down. So what happened? I started to lose my creativity. Things felt boring. They didn't feel as connected. My spaces weren't as big as they used to be. A lot more people would come in. And now that I was trying to be right and be business and do the right thing and da 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 da, less people. Because I was trying to protect myself, and what I did was I took myself off of the map. And so I had to come back and realize that there was safety in whatever I wanted to share, however I wanted to share it. I started to attract clients that weren't necessarily in alignment. The ones that didn't want the gift the way I had, like my gifts, right? Because if I'm hiding it from the public and then you come into my space and I'm light languaging and doing all this stuff, you're like, whoa, 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 what's all this? Whoa, nah, I didn't pay for that. I didn't sign up for this. And you can't be mad at people for that. And so I had to turn it back on. I had to come back to the frequency of not hiding myself, not hiding my gifts, not hiding what I was here to do, not hiding my joy. You know, you work around people and they're maybe the frequencies are a lot lower. I started to lower my frequency to their frequency because I wanted to meet them where they were. That's not my magic. My magic is to help you rise up to where I am. And that's what people want. And so I'm here to tell you that your gifts aren't missing. Your talents, your innate talents, not gifts, they're talents. It's not like you were gifted this and someone else wasn't gifted it. It's innate talents that all of you have. They're not missing, they're frequency locked. Your gifts don't disappear, they don't expire, and they don't leave, but they respond to frequency, which means that if you're living in survival energy, your joy, your creativity, and your intuition can't fully express through that. If you're afraid to really show up as you, that frequency is felt. And so your talent may feel a little dim. It's like trying to hear the symphony through a static radio signal. The music is there, but the channel needs to be cleared, tuned, matched. And this is what frequency does. You can't access your divine talent from guilt. You can't create epic art from obligation. And you won't be able to channel a vision from pressure. What you need is safety, softness, joy. Not just as feelings, but as your vibrational set point. Because when you raise your frequency back to joy, your intuition online, your channel open, your voice returns, your art flows. Not because you've learned a new strategy, but because you've become a vibrational match to your own divine expression. So let's be real. Most of you did not shut down because you're lazy or unmotivated. You shut down because your light was misunderstood or mocked or rejected or ignored, or you were afraid that it would be. Maybe you spoke too clearly and someone called you intense. Maybe you felt too deeply and somebody said you're too sensitive or you're erratic. You created something from your soul and then no one clapped. And so you learned to tone it down, to make it palatable, to hide the weird, keep it safe. But this is where you get to learn not to look externally for your power, not to look for outside circumstances to determine how you feel, not to no longer cage yourself. Because guess what? A cage that is wrapped in comfortable velvet is still a cage. It's comfort that comes with confinement. And the price is your power. You never lost your magic. You buried it to protect it. And now it's time to dig it the fuck up. You get to sing again. You get to write again. You get to channel again. You get to dance again. You get to feel joy again. And it doesn't matter if anyone claps. If no one claps, clap for your fucking self. I'm so passionate about this because I spent so much time in that velvet prison. And that velvet prison resulted in me earning just enough. Your talent is not for applause. It is for your freedom. And so you've got to listen to this right now and decide today, I am getting out of this damn box. I no longer care. If someone says I was too intense, then I was just not the intensity for them. If someone says I'm too like sensitive, then I am just not the right sensitivity for them. If no one's clapping, I'm just not in the right room. I'm going to clap for myself. I'm not toning it down. I'm not making it palatable. I'm not going to hide the weird. I'm going to be as weird as I get to be. I'm going to be as safe as I'm going to decide that I am safe because I choose to be safe, because I created my safety, because I am safe, because I am the creator of my reality and no one else. And if I'm not for you, then that is fine. Go on to something else. And that is why I created La Lumière. It's not just about light language or daily audios or high vibe rituals. It is about returning to the frequency where your gifts are safe to come out again because you decided it so. Joy is not a concept, it is a daily calibration. And when you press play and shift, not because you're doing the work, but because you remember the frequency of what you really came here to be. It is where you get to remember your voice. It is where spiritual leaders become artists again. Where the ones who have been hiding start shining without apology. If you have been missing yourself, if you have forgot the freaking talent that you had, the innate beauty of your power, if joy has felt right there and you're ready for it again, you're not lost, you are just ready to rise. Come home to the vibration where your talents thrive. And that's La Lumière. Because there is nothing wrong with you. Your joy is not gone. Your talent is not missing. Your intuition did not die. Your creativity did not disappear. It just got tired of hiding. And now you're ready to turn the volume up, to be fully seen, to be fully felt, to fully express. And I know this felt, you feel it in your bones. You're like wanting to jump up. You're like, yes. And so you need to screenshot this episode. Go to Instagram, go in your stories, tag me at I.M.TheAlignedSoul, and tell me I am back. Let the world see your magic. Let them feel the shift. Be as weird as you want to be. Be weirder. The more you are you, the more money you're going to make, the more millions of people you're going to touch, and the more you're going to make so much money. It's going to be more than you used to make in a year. You're making in a week. That is what's available for you when you stop hiding your brilliance. So, keep it bougie, stay healed, and stop acting like your light is a liability. You are not coming back. You are here. You are showing up. So be divine diva.